I'm Erin Jorich, and I appreciate you joining me for today's practice. This will be a 30-minute, well-rounded practice with quite a bit of flow in the front end. If you have two blocks and a strap handy, those might be utilized. If you don't have them, no big deal. You can always improvise. Enjoy. Welcome to your yoga practice. Today you'll start in a comfortable seat. You might choose to elevate your pelvis with a block. Ultimately, find something that feels comfortable for you today. And once you find your seat, you might choose to close your eyes. Take a moment to feel grounded through your sitting bones or perhaps your shin bones. And then lengthen tall through the crown of your head. During this time, as you settle in and prepare for your practice, just take some inventory of how you're feeling. Take in the physical, the mental sensations that are present. And then gradually shift some awareness to your breath. You might start to intentionally slow the breath and allow your breath to move in and out through your nose. A few more cycles of breath here. From here, make your way to tabletop. Position yourself on all fours. And then take a little side body stretch. Walk your hands to the left about 45 degrees. Extend your arms as far away from you as you can. And send your tail toward the back right corner of your yoga mat. Now, option to add on here, lift the domes of your hands, or rather dome your hands. Dig your fingertips into the floor. Continue to send your tail back and right, just making it a little more active. And then walk your hands through center. Take your hands to the right about 45 degrees. Extend your arms as much as you can. Send your tail back and left. Same option here. You might dome your hands, dig your fingertips down, lift your wrists, lift your forearms. Send your tail back and left. Send a few deeper breaths into the left side of your ribs. From here, walk your hands back to center, find tabletop. Tuck your toes under and find downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, spread your fingers very wide. Press your hands down and slightly forward. In opposition, lift your tail more up and back to lengthen your lower spine. Any amount, sink your heels down and back, stretch through the backs of your legs, lengthen your calves. From here, step your right foot forward into a lunge. You'll add a little twist here. You could keep your left hand on your mat or position it on a block. Extend your right hand high toward the ceiling. Now, as you work this lunge, hug your inner thighs towards each other, lengthen your ribs, and then reach up through your top hand. Take a big breath in. And exhale, put your right hand down and back to downward facing dog. And then for the second side, step your left foot forward into a lunge. Right hand could stay on your mat. You could utilize a block. Reach your left hand high. Activate your legs, hug your inner thighs towards each other. Widen your chest. Reach through your top hand. Big breath in. And then exhale, position your left hand down and find downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, soften your knees a bit. Look forward and make your way into a standing forward fold. Take your feet about hip distance apart. Allow your torso to hang heavy. Drop your head, your neck. You might stay here if you would like to add on. Cross your forearms, reach your opposite elbow. Ground down through the base of your big toe, base of your little toes. Lift your sitting bones any amount. Continue to let your torso drop very heavy. Then release your grip. Place your hands on your frontal hip bones. Draw your elbows back. With a long spine, rise all the way up to standing. And then getting into some flow here in your practice, you'll move into some half salutations. With your breath, inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through your spine and your ribs. Exhale back to a forward fold, release into your legs. Inhale, rise all the way up, lift your ribs and arms. Exhale, release your hands together at your heart. One more like that. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinge down. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your chest parallel to the floor. Exhale, forward fold, soften through your neck. Inhale, rise up, stretch your legs, reach your arms. Exhale, hands at your heart. Adding to that, inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, lead with your chest. Inhale, halfway lift, a little more weight in your toes. Exhale, step your right foot back into a lunge. You can always put hands on blocks here. In the lunge, take a big breath in, widen your chest. Exhale, just downward facing dog. Big breath in through your nose. And then as you exhale, step your right foot forward into a lunge, hands on mat or your blocks. Be in the lunge, inhale, reach your chest forward. And exhale, forward fold, just step up. Inhale, halfway lift, widen through the front of your chest. Exhale, forward fold, soften back in. Inhale, rise up, stretch your legs, reach your arms. Exhale, hands at your heart. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, lengthen through your ribs. Exhale, forward fold, hinge down. Inhale, halfway lift. Now exhale, step your left foot back into a lunge, hands to your mat or on your blocks. In the lunge, big breath in, reach your ribs forward. Exhale, downward facing dog, hands to mat, lift your tail. Take a full breath in, drive your hands into your yoga mat. Exhale, step your left foot forward to a lunge. Let's keep the lunge active. Inhale, reach your ribs forward, chest forward. Exhale, forward fold, step your back foot up. Inhale, halfway lift. Keep the arms engaged here. Exhale, forward fold, soften back in. Inhale, rise all the way up, ground your feet, reach through your fingertips. Exhale, release your hands at your heart. Adding to that, inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinge down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back into a lunge. And just keep the lunge active. Inhale, slide your ribs forward. This time, exhale, high plank pose. Step your left foot back. Hold high plank, big breath in, push down through your palms. Exhale, down dog, lift your tail. One inhale. Exhale, step your right foot forward to a lunge. In the lunge, inhale, widen your chest. Exhale, forward fold, step up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, engage your legs as you reach your arms. Exhale, hands at your heart. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, just keeping the breath consistent. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back into a lunge. In the lunge, one big breath in. Exhale, high plank pose, plant your palms, step back. In high plank, full breath in, engage your abdominals. Exhale, down dog, use your abdominals, lift your hips. Big breath in, melt your heels down and back. Exhale, step your left foot forward to a lunge. In the lunge, inhale, reach your ribs forward. Exhale, forward fold, step your back foot up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, stretch your legs, reach your arms. Exhale, release your hands. Good. Adding more. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinge down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back. This time, set your right knee down. Inhale for crescent moon, Anjaneyasana, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, high plank, step your front foot back. One full breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big inhale through your nose. Exhale, step your right foot forward, set your left knee down. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, forward fold, step up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, ground your feet, reach to your fingertips. Exhale, release your hands. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back, set your left knee down. Inhale, crescent moon, ground your front foot as you reach up. Exhale, high plank. In high plank, one full breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose, press your thigh bones way back. Exhale, step your left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, forward fold, step your back foot up. Inhale, halfway lift, a little more weight toward your toes. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, press through your feet, reach through your fingertips. Exhale, hands at your heart. Last round of your lunges. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, set your right knee down. Inhale, crescent moon, lengthen your ribs as you reach up. Exhale, high plank, step your front foot back. Hold high plank. This time, take a full breath in, look slightly forward. Exhale, lower to the floor. You can go knees down and then chest down. You'll set up for cobra. Inhale, lift your upper ribs. You can use your fingertips here, drive down. Exhale, chin down, flatten your palms. Inhale, tabletop or plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in through your nose. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Set your left knee down. Inhale, crescent moon, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hands down and step up. Inhale, halfway lift, widen your chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, lift your ribs, reach your arms. Exhale, release your hands. Inhale, arms overhead, just steady breathing. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back, set your left knee down. Inhale, crescent moon, lengthen away from your hips as you reach up. Exhale, high plank, step your right foot back. Hold this here, big breath in. Exhale, knees down, chest down, all the way down. Then one inhale, cobra pose. Lift your ribs, push into your toes. Exhale, chin down, flatten your palms. Inhale, tabletop or plank if you prefer. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in, direct your sitting bones higher. Exhale, step your left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, forward fold, step your back foot up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart, and you'll just keep flowing here. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, exhale, chaturanga, high to low plank, step or jump back, and then bend your elbows, lower about halfway to the floor. Inhale, up dog, flip to the tops of your feet, widen your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. In down dog, just steady your breathing. Drive your hands forward and slightly down. Lift your sitting bones, melt your heels. From here, inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, step or hop up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, lengthen your ribs as you reach. Exhale, hands at your heart. Last round like that. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, just working with steady breathing. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga, step or hop back. Draw your elbows straight back. Inhale, up dog, lift your knees and your thigh bones. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, just back to steady breath. Right? Do your best to maintain a similar cadence to when you were flowing through the lunges, through the sun salutation A. And then maintaining that steady breath. Take a full breath in. And then exhale to a wide lunge, runner's lunge. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. So you got a nice wide position. You can set your back knee down. And now, some options here. You could place your palms on your mat, forearms down, use a block. Or from here, as you can see, adding a little deeper quadricep stretch. I like to go left hand up on a block. Bend your left knee, and with your right hand, hold the inside, the big toe side of that back foot. Then spin your right ribs down, right shoulder down, so your chest is more square to your yoga mat. You can drop the hips forward and downward as much as you want. At the same time, engage your left glutes, so the backside stays very active here. Good. Then coming out of that, release your hands to your mat, perhaps up on a block. You'll do a little hamstring stretch, a version of half splits. Now, here the leg is off to a slight angle. Lengthen your right leg as much as you can. Reach your tail back. Lengthen your ribs forward. And at the same time, reach your right sitting bone, your right buttock, toward the wall that's behind you. That's going to create a little more tension in your right hamstrings. And just steady breath in and out through your nose here. Now, bend your front knee. Place your hands on your yoga mat. Transition to a high plank pose. In plank, just one inhale. Exhale to the floor, knees down, chest all the way down. Now, set up for a Sphinx pose. Slide your elbows forward so they're now underneath your shoulder joints. And a little back bend. Inhale, lift your chest for Sphinx. Now, some core strengthening here. As you exhale, curl your ribs up, curl your hips up, lift your thigh bones. Take a big breath in. Push your shins down. Exhale, slowly reverse. Thighs down, hips down. Keep the core muscles very strong. Again, inhale, little back bend, Sphinx pose. Exhale, peel your ribs up, hips up, thigh bones up. One inhale right here. Exhale, reverse it. Thighs down, hips down, abdominals stay strong. Inhale, widen your chest. Again, just flowing with the breath. Exhale, peel ribs up, hips up, thigh bones up. One big breath in, drive your forearms down. Exhale, slowly reverse it. From here, inhale, find a little back bend, Sphinx pose. Then exhale, chin down, take hands under shoulders. Inhale, tabletop or plank. Exhale, down dog. Big breath in. Exhale, step your left foot to a wide lunge, settling into runner's lunge on the second side. Set your right knee down. Lots of options, palms down, forearms down. Here, I'm just showing a slightly deeper quadricep stretch. I like right hand up on a block. Take your left hand, hold the inside, that big toe side of the back foot. And then from there, turn your left ribs down, turn your left shoulder more downward toward your yoga mat. You can drop the hips forward and downward as much as you want. Just keep it active. Firm up your right glutes, right? It might increase the sensation or the stretch that you feel. Just keeping the muscles active as you work a deeper stretch. You let that go. Moving into more of a hamstring stretch now, a version of half splits. Take your hands on the inside of the left foot. I like hands up on a block so a little higher with my torso. Lengthen your left leg as much as you can. Flex at your left ankle. Reach your left sitting bone way back. You'll feel a little shift in your pelvis. In opposition, reach your ribs forward. Move your chest forward, almost like you're doing a halfway lift in your spine. From here, bend at your left knee. Place your hands on your mat. Transition to high plank. In high plank, one full breath in. Exhale to the floor, knees down, chest down. All right, you're moving into Sphinx pose again. Slide your elbows forward. Inhale, lift your chest. Like a wave, exhale, curl ribs up, hips up, thigh bones up. You just keep this active. Big breath in, feel it in your core. Exhale, release thighs down, hips down, abdominals strong. Inhale, widen your chest, little back bend. Exhale, peel ribs up, hips up, thigh bones up. Big breath in, keep the breath steady. Exhale, slow reverse, thighs down, hips down. Widen your chest, inhale. Exhale, ribs up, hips up, thigh bones up. This is the last one like this. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly reverse it, thighs down, hips down. Now inhale, little back bend for Sphinx pose. Exhale, chin down, hands under shoulders. Inhale, tabletop or plank. Exhale, down dog. Steady breath in. Easy breath out. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward, and then step up to a forward fold as you exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up and reach your arms up. Exhale, release your hands at your heart. Now this time, inhale, chair pose at Utkatasana. Bend your knees, sit back. Few breaths. Just feel a strong foundation through your feet. Feet can be together or even a little bit wider. Then take your hands at your heart. Moving into a little outer hip stretch, elevate your left leg and cross left ankle over your right thigh bone. Nice, so standing ankle to thigh pose. Bend your right knee as much as you can. Send your tail down and back. Now, from here, I like to go left hand to the floor or left hand to a block. I like to go pretty high here with the block. And then take your free hand, your right hand, press it into the sole of your lifted foot. Actively push foot against hand, hand against foot. And then after a few breaths, you can let that go. Second side, lift your right ankle over your left thigh bone. Sit your tail down and back, similar to chair pose. This is just an optional add-on. Take your right hand, place it on a block or perhaps all the way on your mat. And then take your left hand, your free hand, push it into the sole of your foot. Push foot against hand, hand against foot. So it's a really great outer hip stretch. Slide your ribs forward as you send your sitting bones down and back. All right, and then after a few breaths of working that, release your lifted foot back down. Inhale for chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale for chaturanga, step or hop back. Draw the elbows straight back. Inhale, up dog, widen through the front of your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Exhale, step your right foot forward to a lunge, and then you'll lift up into warrior two. A little bit of time to find your warrior two. I like the heels in a straight line. Of course, you can always shift the alignment as needed. Angle your left toes, your back toes slightly forward. Lift your ribs. Actively reach through your fingertips. Now, adding to this, reach your arms overhead and then take eagle arms. On this side, you'll take your left arm underneath your right arm. Now, here, you might join your palms like I'm doing. You can also take hands to shoulders. Now, to accentuate this shoulder stretch, lift your elbows as high as you can. Press your forearms away from your face and feel your shoulder blades spread and widen away from your spine. And then release that, arms to a T. Now inhale, straighten the front leg and exhale to triangle pose. I like to use a block on the underneath the right hand on the back side of the right foot. Few breaths here. Drive your feet into your mat. Direct your right sitting bone back toward your left heel. Lengthen your ribs as you widen your chest away from the floor. Energize through the top hand. Steady breath in and out through the nose as you work the shape. And then make your way back up to warrior two. Bend your front knee, reach your arms. Big breath in. Exhale, lunge, lift your back heel. Inhale in the lunge. Exhale, just simply downward facing dog. One inhale here. Exhale, step your left foot forward to a lunge, and then you'll lift up to warrior two. A little bit of time to just settle in, find a strong foundation. As I mentioned on the first side, I like heels in a straight line. You can always shift a bit. Bend at your front knee. Lift your ribs. Reach through your fingertips to help widen your chest. Then adding on, reach your arms overhead, and then this time, take your right arm underneath your left arm for eagle arms. And you can always cross hands to shoulders if that feels like a better version for your arms today. Lift your elbows really high. If your forearms are touching each other, push your pinky fingers away from your face and widen your shoulder blades away from your spine. Steady breaths here, in and out through your nose. And let that go. Reach your arms to a T. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Then exhale for triangle. Reach your left hand forward and downward. You might use a block here. And I also like to mention, if in triangle pose you feel any pinchy sensation, stress in the ankles, go feet closer together. A few breaths. Ground your heels, lighten your toes. Guide your left sitting bone a little bit back toward the right heel. Accentuate the length through both sides of your ribs, left rib specifically. And reach a little higher through the top hand. From here, bend the front knee, go back to warrior two. Take a big breath in. Exhale to a lunge. Place your hands on your mat, lift the back heel. Stay in the lunge, one big breath in, widen your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, in downward facing dog. Moving on, bend your knees. Look forward, and then step all the way through. You'll lie down on your back. Now on your back, you'll take 2 reclined back bends. First, you'll start with bridge pose. Take your feet about hip distance apart. Extend your arms alongside you. Lift your pelvis. Draw your shoulder blades underneath your chest, and you might, as I'm doing, interlace your fingers and ground the pinky edges of your hands into the floor. Press into the inner edges of your feet more through the big toe sides of the feet as you lift your hips. After a few breaths, make your way down, and you'll make your way into broken bridge pose. Take your feet wide, drop your knees into each other, let the lower back settle for just a few breaths. Next, you'll take one more reclined back bend. Now, option to repeat bridge pose, or you might set up for wheel pose. As you can see here, I turn my hands out a little bit for wheel. That might be something that works for you, or it may not be. Lifting into bridge or wheel pose. If you are taking wheel, drive through your hands. Push through your hands to stretch your arms as best as you can. With either bridge or wheel, ground through the inner edges of your feet, so big toe sides press down. After a few rounds of your breath, slowly make your way down to your back. And then Supta Baddha Konasana, join the soles of your feet, let your knees widen, and just place your hands wherever it's most comfortable. And you can absolutely use blocks here underneath your knees or upper thigh bones. So this is a little more of a supported shape for your body. Let your lower back soften down. Just come back to steady breath. And then from here, just helping to neutralize the spine and stretch the backs of the legs a bit more. You'll move into a version of Supta Panagishtasana, reclined hand to foot, or as I call it, reclined hand to strap. Take the middle of your strap around the ball mound of your right foot. Each hand will have its own side here. I like to bend the left knee. If you prefer a long left leg on your yoga mat, that's great too. Pull down on your strap. Energetically drive your foot upward toward the ceiling. So you've got strong opposition of pulling down with the strap and then driving your foot straight up. And the right knee might be bent, the lifted knee might be bent, and that's absolutely fine. And then turning this into a small twist, lengthen your left leg on your mat if it's not already there. Take both sides of the strap into your left hand, and then the smallest amount, cross your right leg over your body. Once your right buttock starts to lift, you're just going to stop. So it's really small. Keep your pelvis level to the floor. As you reach through your right foot, reach your right sitting bone closer to the front edge of your yoga mat. And you can even use your right hand, your free hand, to nudge that thigh forward. After a few breaths, make your way up, and then you'll just take the second side of that. Lift your left leg toward the ceiling, place the middle of your strap around the ball mound of your left foot. You could take this posture with a bent right knee, as I'm doing, or you might straighten your right leg onto your yoga mat. Apply a little pressure, pull straight down with your hands on the strap. Energetically charge your left foot upward toward the ceiling. And if your left knee is bent, that's great, that's just fine. Right? A lot of this practice is about meeting yourself where you're at, both physically and mentally in the present moment. And then adding a small twist, lengthen your right leg on your mat if it's not currently there. Take your strap into your right hand. Take your left hand across your body until you feel that left buttock lift, and once it does, you stop. And as you can see here, I'm actually using my left hand to guide the left thigh bone more forward. Reach through your left foot. Reach your left sitting bone, your left buttock, toward the front edge of your mat. You might feel a slightly deeper stretch on the outer edge of your left hip and thigh. A few breaths. Make your way back to center. You can set your strap aside. And then from here, happy baby's pose. Take your knees outside your ribs. You might hold the inner edges of your heels as I'm doing. However, there's lots of options. You could reach the outside of your feet, the calves, your knees. And then after a few breaths, you're just going to let that go, and then you're going to settle into a final resting posture, taking Shavasana. First few breaths in Shavasana are all about just little adjustments that you need to make in the moment so that you feel very comfortable. You might move your shoulder blades underneath you a bit. And then as you find a comfortable position here, you might close your eyes, soften the muscles in your face. Keep a little bit of space between your upper, your lower teeth. And just a little bit of time for you to be relatively quiet in your body and in your mind. Of course, if you have longer to stay in your Shavasana, take that time. When you feel like it's ready, or you are ready to move on, just deepen your breath. Expand your lungs. Add some small movements. Whatever you need to make your way out, and then eventually roll to either side, find a fetal posture. And without feeling rushed, you'll eventually end your practice with a comfortable seat, just like you started. You might sit on a block, you may not. Sitting nice and tall. And then wrapping up your practice. Drawing your hands in front of your heart, perhaps thumbs to third eye center, and bowing forward. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Thank you for making time for your practice. Namaste.